It feels really weird this month to not be holding like a giant stack of manga. Like, here are all the things I read because I read so little last month. Hello friends, happy Saturday. It feels weird not to say happy Friday since usually on Fridays I do my reading wrap-ups, but this is the only non-shoujo exclusive video that I'm filming for the 25 days of shoujo manga, and you're like, Laura, what in the world is that? Definitely check out yesterday's video. I'm hosting a huge giveaway, 2 big giveaways, and talking about all of the videos I'm going to be filming this month that are all about shoujo and josei manga. Very, very excited, so please check that out. But today we are talking about all the things I read in the month of November, which was really little, but I read a lot of digital things, and I honestly feel like November was the month of manhwa for me. I think I read 6 or 7 different manhwa. No. Some of these were like chapters here and there because I have noticed when there are license announcements and they are manhwa, I'm like, let's go check them out and go see if we like them, which leads to spending money, which we will talk about that in just a few minutes. So let's go ahead and jump in. I very roughly read about 17 to 18 different things last month. It was a really small month of reading, and just it's really weird because I know I was doing a lot of like filming and editing for this event this month, but then our family I realized was like sick so much. Like me and my oldest were sick at the beginning of November, and then the Thanksgiving week our entire family was sick, and I read nothing that was physical that week at all. It really wasn't until the weekend that I just straight binge read manhwa, and I'm just now like starting to get caught up on my physical TBR, but it was so great. I'm gonna say the manga that I read digitally last month, I think I only read one of them. Yeah, and that was Dogs Read. I read chapters 1 through 3. This is a new release on the like Shonen Jump app, and I think I originally read it like on Jump Plus or whatever. This is by the creator that did, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the title. He's a really famous creator. This series is really famous. I'm gonna leave a picture here because I am straight blanking on the name of the series. I could see the cover, I could see the characters. Oh gosh, that is so horrible. I can't believe I forgot his name. Dogs Read was amazing. I can 100% see the hype for this ice hockey manga. Like if it was to physically get published, I am picking it up. It was very different than anything that I was expecting. I came in with no expectations anyway, but I really love the characters. The main character is a hoot. I never know what to expect, but like the greatest thing, and I was telling my husband, I have never read a manga where the side characters, like that everybody has like such different facial structures. Like I never know what a character is going to look like, and none of them look similar. I feel like typically in manga, like yes, the side characters will look different than the main character and such, but to have such different expressions, the eye shape, the just head shape, all of it is really unique. And I'm like, I could just look at the panels and the pages of this manga and not even read it because that was just how entertained I was from the art alone, which is something rare for me, not something I say often, but I really enjoyed the art. But I love this story, and I was super upset because I started on Manga Plus. I was like, well, my husband and I literally just canceled our Shonen Jump manga subscription, and I'm like, I wasn't planning to renew it yet. I know it's only like $1.99, but we like never use it, but I'm like, I need to know what happens next. I'm like, I was getting at the really good part, and so I really loved it. If the Manga Plus app or Manga Plus website, if they get chapter 4 and more, I am going back to read it ASAP because it was very enjoyable and definitely super enjoyed it. Yeah, that was the only digital manga I read. Everything else is digital manhwa. So the one I finally caught up on because a friend told me, she's like, hey, this is about to end, you might want to go finish it, is Marry My Husband, and this was so good. I never ever knew that there could be more chaotic characters than Trashita in Remarried Empress and the Emperor. Oh my gosh, like the best friend and the ex-husband, I can't even put it into words. I was like, these guys are on a whole other level of chaos, of like genuine insanity. I love the ending because our main girl, through all of the crazy mess that those two put her through, she deserved nothing but happiness at the end. And I was so glad and just very happy how it ended. And the bonus stories are some of the best bonus stories I've ever read. I know that sounds maybe like, Laura, you're just exaggerating here. No, each of the, I feel like, you know, when you you read a story, you get the happy ending for the main couple, and you're like, well, what about the side characters? And it's like the creator said, hey, I see you guys. Here is a chapter dedicated basically to things with the main characters, yes, but also like with the cat and a few of these other side characters I got really attached to. It was perfection. And I'm like, I wish every manga manhwa would end with this. Like, it was everything I didn't know I needed. And I teared up it multiple times because it was just like, there was one scene, one chapter that was it was so moving. And I mean, I'm already married, okay? But if I was not married, I feel like how some of these marriage proposals were, it would have set the bar high, okay? It would have set the bar high and just shows how beautiful love is. It is a very chaotic series. It definitely has some dark points, so just be forewarned about that. Honestly, when I saw the covers for the very first time on eBay this weekend or earlier this week, I was like, I probably would have never started this. If I would have known just how some of the crazy dark points that get, I would have not probably started it, but I loved it. And I found out that there's going to be a K-drama, and this is one of those series that I'm like, I will take this in any form that I can get. That is how much I really, really enjoyed. The ending makes everything worth it. Everything. I am very much hoping that this will get physically licensed one day because I would come back to it. You guys know I keep talking about, and that's the Remarried Empress. I read chapters 147 to 149. I have not read this week's latest chapter. Well, I guess it'd be last week. I didn't read that yet, but oh my goodness, like my jaw dropped on the floor. It felt like, oh my gosh, like can Rashida get any more crazy and out there? And the thing that she said, like literally my jaw dropped. I just like stared. I'm like, I never saw this coming. Like I felt like I should have, but I did not see it coming. And I'm just like, I'm so speechless. Like I was genuinely speechless, and it has been so great. I love him so much. Like, so he went to bed early that Saturday night and I read it. And then the next day he's like, oh, how was Remarried Empress? Like, let me tell you, I love him so much. He lets me do that every Sunday. He's so phenomenal. I deeply love this series. Like, this is definitely one of my favorite series ever. I adore the characters, not Rashida, but seeing how unhinged this woman has gotten and just seeing how the Emperor acts now. It is nothing like I thought things would be. Considering how things have gone down in the series to see where things are now, I didn't see that coming. So it's very much still engaging as ever, and I'm deeply, deeply loving it. For more digital manhwa that I read, so Ice Press, I think, announced 6 different physical license announcements for manhwa. So I checked out 4 of them because I was curious and really wanted to know. I'm not going to start with my favorite, but I don't want to start with my least favorite either. The first one was The Villainess is a Marionette. I read up to chapter 5. I really like the beginning. I'm very curious. The art is stunning. I would definitely keep reading just for the art alone. This one and the next one I'm talking about, I did not drop them. I put them on hold because of the one that I deeply loved, and I just loved it. And I was like, I don't need anything else. But I really enjoyed this one. I'm very curious to see where it goes. Definitely planning to pick that one up physically. The next one is Marriage of Convenience. And I was very curious about this one because I really love if you have both of these are isekai, okay? Well, no, I take that back. Marriage of Convenience is not an isekai. It's a time travel. The main girl, she comes to an altar of sorts and she prays like if God could just give her a second chance, she will do things differently. Her prayer is answered. She decides to, with changing things, that she is going to deepen the relationship with her husband. But things have been interesting. Because she does not have a close relationship with him at all. She has a not good reputation within the castle and among the people because she was very spoiled and blew her husband's money on whatever she absolutely wanted. And so she sorry, I keep laughing here. Well, one of the changes that she decides to make is that with her second chance, she realizes that she needs to have his child in order to, like solidify her position as being his wife and such. And so she's like, I'm going to do whatever I can to jump my husband to make sure that we have this child. And it's just like, girl, I think you're missing something here. I think you're missing something a little bit. I know I'm going to admit, I am a little bit nervous about this one because I found out there is a mature rated version. I'm not reading that. I'm reading whatever the regular version is on Tapas that's not mature. I feel a little bit on the fence of actually picking this one up physically. I've read up to chapter 7. The hard part that I'm having is I think I really like it. I love the heroine. She does not put up with any crap, and I really love how she just acts, how she's changing. I just really like her. She's a different kind of heroine, I feel, for me than what I typically read, so I've really, really liked her. But the problem I'm having is that I can only read like a new chapter like every 3 days. It's hard for me to stay committed to it because I'm having to wait so long. I don't like that at all. So I feel like this would be one that I would enjoy more if I can pick it up physically and read like a large chunk. The art is also really, really good. For whatever reason, it's giving me very Viking-like vibes. I don't know if that's because of her hairstyle and how it's really cold and how like her husband can kick butt. He is got this very strong reputation among the people and saves the day all the time. I really like the setting, the vibes, and the characters. So I'm very much looking forward to that one. I'm pretty sure of picking it up, especially since it's taking forever for me to read 3 chapters. Now, the one that I actually read up to chapter 14, and that is Beware the Villainess. And I have really mixed thoughts on this one because I didn't dislike it. In fact, I thought it was super funny in the beginning. This Villainess, oh gosh, the guys in this manhwa are just absolute dirt. I did not like them at all. I mean, all of them are just horrible. Oh gosh. And so I get where our main girl is coming from in the sense like she is not putting up with these dudes crap anymore. Rightfully so, especially that Crown Prince bro needs to get kicked out the series. Oh my gosh. She's angry a lot. And I was finding after the 14th chapter, I was just not having as good of a time. There's a lot of memes that are referenced, which was great. The art's great. Definitely our heroine is really phenomenal villainess because she is putting everybody in their place and she's staying her ground. And I really like that. But just how angry she was, it wasn't bad. Like the chapters I read, like I had a good time for the most part until I was just like, girl, can you just stop being angry and just stop wanting to like punch and beat these people up? And so I just decided to sort of maybe drop it for right now. I feel bad saying that because it wasn't like it was super disenjoyable, but it was not my favorite out of all of the ones I read. Like the humor was great the first few chapters, but then I'm like, I'd just rather read something else that has a little bit more happier tones, which leads to my secretly hot husband, which I loved so very much. I loved it so much. I read this during Black Friday and I took advantage of that Black Friday sale. I mean, I did a lot of grinding for some free ink, but I spent almost $15 worth on this series so I could keep reading. There are 109 chapters and once you start it, there is no stopping. There is no turning back. It was so good. It was so good. I've chatted with multiple people about this. I had a friend that was like, I picked it up off your recommendation because on Instagram I shared 10 out of 10 glowing stars. And I mean, like, this was perfection. Like, this is up there with my top favorite manhwa. I loved every moment of it. The main couple is best, most precious manhwa couple I have ever seen. They are so wholesome, especially her husband. That man could do no wrong. He is amazing. And I loved everything. I loved the fantasy. It is an isekai, which I was really surprised, but it was so unique of bringing in modern day things, how it affected this world that she now lives in. The romance, so slow burn, but it is sweet. It is so sweet and amazing. I have read quite a few different scenes over and over because I just have loved it so very much. I had such a blast. There is a great mystery that's woven in that I really just didn't know where the series was going to go, especially with the big finale. I thought who I knew the bad guy was, but I didn't. And I was at the same time like, I have no idea who the bad guy is. It was all so very well done. The art is beautiful. There's a lot of great humor. And I love these manhwa ladies who can kick butt. And our main girl can do that. I'm like, when you pull out a rifle, girl, I'm seated. I am here to see you kick butt and see you slay. And her husband absolutely fangirls over her. He treats her so well. If he could just stop bringing up the word divorced, if he could stop bringing that up, that would have been like even better. It's part of the story. And they have a very happy ending. But it was just like, oh my gosh, like your heart's breaking at the same time where you're like fangirling over different things that are happening. Got very emotional near the end. I definitely did not want this series to end by any means. And I am hardcore picking this up next year. It was just so good. And I am very, very excited to come back and reread it because some of the lore that's in the series was a little bit intense at times, but I was reading this at like 11:30 at night. And I'm pretty 100% sure that is like the only reason that it felt really intense in those moments because I'm like, I feel like I'm not following this really well right now because I'm so tired. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not putting this down. I'm going to keep reading. There's no good stopping points. I love so much of it. I mean, I loved all of it. I stand behind that statement of 10 out of 10 glowing stars. I loved it so much. I am obsessed with these two. They are some of my favorite new couple that I've ever read. And I cannot wait for those physicals, man. It's going to be so good. It's already so good. My husband, thankfully, like I've read all the way up to the end of this, but my husband heard me gush so incredibly much about these characters and how much I love them. I have never ever spent that much money on a digital manhwa for something like this. This will be the last time. And I'm like, I have to be wary of Tapas. And I was joking with a friend. I was like, you know, come to think about it, I'm like, this is why I deleted Tappy Tunes and why I wasn't reading anything on Webtoons, because I can't just read one chapter. I can't just read one. I need all of it. This series solidified that for sure. And I loved every single moment of it. The woman in this manhwa can kick butt. I loved our older ladies that we have. I love the hot husband that we have and how sweet of a man he is. Man, he's sweet. I even love some of the great devils that are in here. Never thought I would get attached to any of them, but by the end I was like, they're so adorable. I really, really love them, and I love just each and every moment. It is one I would highly, highly recommend. Please go check it out on Tapas. Last I had checked, because the finale was over, I think it was like right after Thanksgiving, they have the first 20 chapters for free, and please go check it out. It is everything. I love the series so much. We'll be getting it physically next year for sure, because it is amazing and can't recommend it enough. Thank you for listening to that ramble there. Hopefully I did it justice, because I'm like, I could just talk about it all day. I really, really love it. I really, really love it. So let's go ahead, go into the physical things that I read. I'm not going to really mention it, but one thing that surprised me that I reread from like volume 6 or 7 and on was Short Cake. I did mention this, I think, a little bit in my Top 5 Wednesday video earlier this week of how I just started like reading it, and yeah, I read all the way up to the end. I read mainly my favorite parts, so it wasn't like a solid reread where I read every single page and every panel. No, it was just like I'm reading my favorite parts. And apparently that was influenced because earlier this month I reread volume 4 of Play It Cool, guys, and I loved it so much. It was everything. I was like, I love these goofy goobers. Very much enjoyed it. Continue to deeply love this series. Cannot wait for volume 5 to come out next year. It is just, it's everything. I had such a great time. This one I read from like front cover to back, and I love Hayate. I love all of them. I love all of them. It was so good. And I'm really glad that I took the chance to reread it, because I really, really enjoyed it. Now, this is not a manga, but I finally read this Haikyuu fanzine that I had ordered, and it is called First Steps, and it's about Haikyuu characters that are kids. And look at Hinata. He's so cute. This is one of the cutest fanzines I have ever bought, because I really, really love Haikyuu signs. They're always so much fun. And look at this page. Look how cute they are. Hinata and his sister are so adorable. This is my favorite page for sure. Out of this, I would say 5 out of 5 stars for this sign. Typically when I get signs, there'll be like one story I really enjoy, and then like some of the other ones I don't really love. But for this one, I really loved all of them, to be honest. I don't know if I have a favorite. I was trying to find another cute page that I really, really loved. But yeah, I loved all of them. They were all really unique and a really great time. Let's see, we had so many different ones. I think we had like 4 actually. I feel like the twins maybe was my favorite, but I really loved, there was one with Kageyama that was super sweet, and Asashi that I absolutely loved as well. And there was one with Lev and his sister, and those were really, really nice. I really loved how they had the siblings involved, and not for all of them, but it was a very wholesome design that I super enjoyed, and so glad that I backed it, because I was a little bit unsure, but then it was actually one of the free bonus stickers you could get that I really wanted, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna get it, and I love it. It's one of my favorite designs to date that I have gotten, and I love the back with all the guys. I really, really enjoyed this. I'll leave a link down below if you'd like to check it out for like just to see who the artists are and the different writers. And let me just show this page again because I love it so much. They're just so cute. I really, really enjoy it. I love it. It makes me really, really happy. But yeah, I'll leave a link down below in case you'd like to go follow the writers and artists. I think the leftover sale has already happened. If it's still ongoing, I'll definitely leave a link down below. But I would highly recommend it if you enjoy Haikyuu and you want to see them in their kid forms. This is really, really good with very cute art and very sweet stories. Earlier in the month, I attended a reading sprint that Marg at Marg Reads Manga that she hosts, and the pick that I chose that night was ×2. This is a shoujo standalone, has like 4 or 5 short stories. It is by the same creator of Monkey High, and I love this. This was so fun. This was so enjoyable that I actually looked and was trying to find Monkey High and almost binge bought the entire series because because this was another one. I think there's only like one story that wasn't my super favorite, but I really, really enjoyed all of these. Like this is something that I would come back to and just pick up and just read for a cute short story that is shoujo fluff and shoujo love and the romance. It was everything that I feel a like standalone for short stories, an anthology, so to speak, should have. I really enjoyed it, and I'm so sad that this is out of print, but I am very grateful that my friend Bazaar had recommended this to me. I deeply loved it and would recommend it. If you find it somewhere, definitely pick it up. It has a variety. Like you have one that's about stars, you have one that's about flowers, you have one about mind reading. It was so good. I loved it. Again, we'll come back to it and very much enjoyed my time with it. Next up is Sugar Apple Fairy Tale. I read volume 2, and I'm actually really glad that I decided not to drop this series because this volume addressed everything that I was hoping would be addressed after volume 1. I felt a little bit uncertain with things. I didn't feel ultimately hooked. I have not seen the anime, even though everybody's like, you should just try the anime, but I'm so bad at keeping up with anime. So like, if I ain't keeping up with the manga, I'm definitely not gonna keep up with the anime. At least very strong chances are when it comes to that. And it was very sweet. It had a different kind of intensity. I love seeing that we're finally in the capital, how things unfold, what's coming after that. Like I was sort of unsure. Actually, the results of what happens in the capital, I didn't expect. And so even after that, I was caught off guard of what our main girl decides that she is going to do. It was very, very good. I don't know if I give it 5 stars, but I definitely want to pick up volume 3 because I feel now I'm invested and hooked on this series. It definitely became a try 3, I think, in a sense, because volume 1 was good, but like I said, I thought I was going to drop it because I just got really tired of Anne trying to justify her actions. And in this volume, we no longer have that justification. We have, I'm admitting why I did this and how I feel because of what I did. That was what I needed, and that's what I got. And there was a lot of great other things that happened. Very much enjoyed it, and the art was really good. Again, we'll be picking up volume 3. Next up was a heartbreaking read, and that is volume 3 of My Girlfriend's Child. Very much glad that I picked this up. Not that I had planned to drop it, but I was a little bit iffy with things with my budget, but I really love this volume. It is heartbreaking. It is pain. There is not a lot of happiness in the story, but continues to be so incredibly engaging, and her boyfriend is definitely best boy. He is incredible, and I just admire his strength. He continues to stand by our main girl, continues to support whatever her choice is. I really hope that things will look up for them when it comes to the next volume. I forgot how this volume ended. I feel like it was sort of like on a cliffhanger. No, it sounds bad. I read this right before I got sick. Yes, the ending was really good, and I love these two. Really admire their strength. They're struggling, but they're doing everything they can. They're learning. When people say certain remarks, aka her brother, she does not back down. She's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go learn about this. And I was just so blown away and so proud of her for how she's learning, how she's trying to take in information, make a plan. It was very good, and I'm so thankful that at least her mom seems somewhat supportive of her, unlike other people that are involved. I hope that her mom will show her a lot of support because she's definitely going to need it moving forward. We'll be buying volume 4 as well. Oh my goodness, I got this one. I love this series, and that's Twisted Wonderland volume 2, and it was everything. So much fangirling, so much squealing. Every single time a new character came on, there was a cameo. I was like, I was totally freaking out. Good, happy excitement. It was a phenomenal read. Continue to deeply love the series, and I mean, I know everything that sort of mainly happens, but I really love how it just highlights the strengths of these characters, things that we see in the manga. And then when it came to the teachers and seeing them in manga form, oh my gosh. And then we got, let me cover this so you can't see what he's saying, but then we got Cater in this volume, and it was everything. I really love how this series is taking elements of the game and just making them a little bit darker with these characters. It is the perfect touch that this series needs to be a great thing to stand on its own without even playing the game, but also how it is like companion to the game. I have really, really, really loved it. I was trying to find the teachers, and then I got like super excited. I forgot, because it's been a while since I have played the original book in the game, and I completely forgot how unhinged Riddle is. You definitely see the unhingedness, but look at our teachers here. They look so great. I mean, they look great in the game. We also have him. I forget his name. What's his name? Oh yeah, Train. He is an interesting, he's an interesting teacher. He's not my favorite. And then we had Vargas, and I was like, oh my gosh, he looks so good in the manga. My daughter was overjoyed that we got so much Grimm, because Grimm right here, he is her favorite character, and we actually sat down together, and I was like, here, look at all the cute pictures of him. She really loved it, and I loved the story. It was just everything, and I really love these chapter pages. They were beautiful. beautiful. There was one that was from the Halloween event that happened this year with like the art. That was fantastic. And we see Deuce go unhinged, and I love it because Deuce is one of my favorite in the manga. He's right here. And I was like, yes, and he's unhinged. He's just, oh my gosh. And we got like some really good stuff with him. I was like, bless the manga artist's heart, because she fed my soul. She was feeding me with scenes with him, and it was so cute. Again, I absolutely love this volume. It continues to be so good and highly recommend it. You don't have to play the game to enjoy the series, but as you can see, as a fan of the game, you will love it. It is phenomenal, and continue to deeply enjoy this. Now, if you're a fan of childhood friends to lovers, this manga is for you, and it's called 15 Minutes Before We Really Date. This is sort of like it starts off very slice of life, and I think it's gonna be working more into like a story with chapters, so to speak, but it was so cute. It was so cute. I very much enjoyed my time with this. These two are adorable. Seeing them go from childhood friends that have been neighbors for like 10 years, I think it is, where now they're starting to become lovers was, oh, it was so good. It was so cute. It was so very good. I really love how, like, I mean, right from the start, she's like, you know, everybody's saying that we're a couple. Why don't we just break up? And he's like, well, we're not, but okay. And she's like, you know what? Why don't we just start dating? And that's where things begin. So they're dating right from the beginning. You're seeing all of their awkwardness as they go through different things. And I really loved how there's a great moment, a few moments actually, where they're like, you know, this is a little bit awkward. This is a little bit weird because, you know, she's like, I want us to be more of a couple, not just be best friends, because they are best friends. And sometimes I feel like they were struggling with that. How do they make a change from who they used to be to how they are now? It's like, you know, we're still best friends, but now they are slowly becoming lovers, and I have really, really enjoyed it. Definitely gonna be picking up the next volume. The art was so cute, and I love all the pages. I love how expressive they are. I loved everything. This was an absolute joy to read. Enjoyed every single page, every single event that was happening. It was great. Would highly recommend this. Speaking of slice of life manga, I read volume 3 of Gat Papa, and yes, this is everything as well. I continue to deeply enjoy this series. I felt all of the warm fuzzies. There we go. All the warm fuzzies. Even more than that, the one thing I was really hoping for was that we would see more of the coworker, and we did, and it was perfection. Was very excited that we got more of the coworker, and also that we got Grandma and Grandpa, because I really like Grandma and Grandpa. I really enjoyed this. I mean, nothing really happens, but if you need a serotonin boost with just a family that is so sweet and so precious and loves each other so much, this is a manga that you need to check out because it continues to be so wonderful. It's just a really wonderful read that just picks up your mood instantly and makes you happy. The art is also really cute, and it's colored as well. Really enjoy it. I had a great time. This was the manga that I read, the only physical manga that I read when my family was sick during Thanksgiving, because I was like, this is low commitment, has no plot. Definitely made me feel better even though I was still sick. Cannot wait for volume 4. Oh my goodness though, it is my queen, it is my queen. Oh my gosh, I love her so much, and that's Penelope from Villains Are Destined to Die, volume 5. I love this manhwa so incredibly much. It is a huge part of my heart. Her and Navier, girl bosses, I love them so very much. Navier from the Remarried Empress. I loved every single moment of this. I low-key buddy read this to my friend Darcy. She'd already read it, but I was like spamming her different panels. Derek, burn that man in the trash can. Just throw him in the trash. Oh my gosh. He was so frustrated. I'm like, dude, you know, did you not even realize how much, just how much further you're going down, bud? Like, man, he is up there. The Emperor and Rashida, they're still #1 for like worst manhwa characters. But I'm like, Derek, you were right there with him, man. You were right under them. Like, oh my gosh. But that's okay. Because for all the trashy moments that man had, all the other dudes, except for Eccles, they all made up for it, and they all had page time, which was so wonderful. And I was telling my friend, I was like, we got Winter. I was like, Winter is so kind to Penelope. I really love what he says to her and how just he's so sweet to her. I was like, my heart's feeling really tugged right now. It's feeling really tugged. I really love that moment. And then even Ronald, he, you know, at one point I've shared in a reading wrap up, he was in the doghouse, but he was out of the doghouse, but he really stepped up and surprised me this volume. And I'm like, thank you for being a good brother. Like, thank you so very much. I really liked his moments. Eccles, I know that I was like team Eccles in the very beginning, but man, that man scares me more than Callisto, which says a lot because Callisto, you know, he's pretty unhinged for a crown prince, but oh my gosh, the amount of Callisto we got, the Callisto that we got was it was so good. There were multiple scenes. We fangirled together and I was just like, my heart will not sway again. It will not sway again. Oh my gosh. I'm so ready and excited for volume 6. I love Penelope. I feel like she slays in each and every situation that she's in. But what she said in the courtroom sort of backfired. But I'm not sorry, Penelope, because that means Callisto's gonna be around for a lot longer. And I'm all here for it, girl. Like, I'm sorry, but bring it on. Like, come on down, Callisto. Like, we will just show this panel that just represents the fierceness of this man. Oh, it was so good. There were so many good moments, and I'm living for it. I love this series. I have fallen down the hole of looking up and seeing novel spoilers. I just adore this series, and I am so very tempted to start the novel, but I'm so afraid it's gonna be like My Secretly Hot Husband, and I'm just gonna fall down that trap of spend, because I want to read ahead and not have to grind or work for these chapters, or just getting impatient and just buying a whole bunch at once. And I'm like, you can't, Laura, you cannot do that. But I have been seeing things, and I'm just here for all of it. I'm here for this story. I love it so much. It speaks a lot to me that I'm willing to look up spoilers purposefully, not just see them casually, but I follow somebody on Twitter who gives spoilers every day. Last night I was looking on Tumblr for more spoilers. I cannot get enough of her. I deeply love Penelope, man. She is just so incredible. She's the ultimate girl boss, and I'm like, I'm here for your happiness, because there were definitely a few moments in this volume specifically where I got really emotional. Like, there was a certain conversation that wasn't with any of the major guys that I just got really teared up at, and I never want to see Penelope sad. And there was a few moments that has me really scared, and I will commend the creator that just went like, okay, things are going to be great. No, this series throws a wrench in the plan, and you just like, oh my gosh, like fear was striking my heart for Penelope. And I'm like, please, we are going to follow that cliche, right? We're going to follow that trope for the Villainess manga. It is the staple of the genre that our main girl, she changes the plot, and the plot changes for the better, you know? Like, well, the main character may not think that, but I'm like, this will happen, right? Like, this will happen. Like, things are not going to follow the main story that was in the original, you know, series or whatever, like, or game. Like, it better change. It better change. That's all I'll say. Deeply love this series. It was definitely my favorite read of this month. I love it. Penelope can do no wrong. Hope she continues to slay, and her and Callisto have some crazy unhinged moments. I cannot wait for volume 6. The next volume that I read was volume 5 of Why Raeliana Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion. This was so good. We are getting more mystery into Raeliana's life. She's looking up for answers, but the only thing I was lacking, I still gave this 5 stars, is Raeliana, I need you to come around, girl. I need you to come around. I can't say more without giving spoilers, but I need her to come around. That's all I can say. But but outside of that, Grandpa has really rubbed off on me. I did not like him in the beginning. I just didn't really like him at all. But I have loved his relationship or his friendship with Raeliana. He really is stepping up, and he is fulfilling that grandpa role. I'm 100% here for it. I really enjoyed this opening chapter that they had together. It was very moving. I'm looking forward to him returning back on page, because again, Raeliana is looking for answers, and my heart was like, oh, let things be okay. How it ended, it was on a massive cliffhanger, and I'm just like, why must these manhwa end on cliffhangers? Like, please don't. Please don't. But it was amazing. Very much enjoyed it. Continue to deeply love this series. I'm glad that we only have, I think when I looked yesterday, it was like 4 more volumes. I need to know how things are going to go. And Raeliana, you need to look at and acknowledge Noah. The things that he is saying, girl, you need to acknowledge it. You need to just acknowledge it. And yeah, I hope volume 6 that she does and things continue to get better. Oh, one other thing before I wrap it up for Raeliana. This guy here, I love him. He does not stand a chance. Noah, I'm all team Noah here, but I wish he had his own manhwa, because his character is just so fun and so funny. I'm like, please back away from Raeliana, back away from the ship. But I really love his character, and I'm just like, I don't want your heart to get crushed, but I hope it gets crushed, even though I feel horrible saying that. But it was a great read. Very, very much enjoyed it. This was the last read that I read this month, and that was volume 2 of Not So Wicked Stepmom. I forgot how amazing this series is. I read the light novel way back when it was actually available. It's not anymore, and we are getting into my favorite parts, and I loved how they did the adaptation of the light novel into the manhwa. Very much enjoyed it. Abigail is hilarious. I really love how much she loves our beautiful, cute princess. I was here for every moment in this story, and I'm just like, how could you forget, Laura, how much you love this series? Like, it is phenomenal, and this volume definitely reminded me how much I enjoyed it. Very much looking for more volumes, and I will be reading them significantly faster than I did this time because, well, I mean, I know my family was sick, but I loved it. I loved every page. age. I love seeing Abigail grow as a mom, seeing her just live in happiness. It was everything. It ended on a cliffhanger as well, and I'm like, why? Why would she do this to us? Why would she do this to us readers? But I know it's going to be worth it. Very much looking forward to the next volume because it is getting into my actual favorite part. But I love the build up. We are getting to know everybody more, and I'm so glad. And I knew, and I don't know if I said my other reading wrap up when I did volume 1, but I knew that when it came to, what is he, the Emperor? The King, excuse me. But when it came to the King, I knew that I had to hold on because I didn't like him in volume 1. I was like, I'm going to come around. And that was very true when it came to this volume. We're getting more flashbacks, and I really hope he opens up to Abigail because girl needs to know. Girl needs to know. And so he's getting there. I love how Abigail is she's so family oriented and she's just so fun. This is a very wonderful, wholesome series. If you're looking for, just like I said, a very family oriented series, and they're all growing closer together, even with all their awkwardness and things that are happening. Very much loved it. It was a fantastic way to end out the month of November with reads. I loved it. Again, this just like skyrocketed to reads. So I'm like, I must read as soon as it comes in. It was absolutely amazing. And that, my friends, wraps up all of the manhwa and the manga and all the things that I read last month. It was a good month of reading. Very excited that I read all the things that I did. But I would love to hear from you, friends. What are some things that you read last month? What were some of your favorite reads? I would love to know. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!